Good afternoon, everyone. It's 12:35 on the clock, the 12 of the Hanging Man, the 35 of the Wounded Warrior. And I have a very important message of the day today. It was very profound. I'm going to get into that in a second. I have a union read and a twin flame read, and I'll show you the pictures. Let's go ahead first and take our deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody, and thank you so much for being here with me. Okay, so first I want to show you my pictures. We're going to roll the die as well. I showed you this picture yesterday, but I want to show it to you again because it's of a bee and a dragonfly flying together, mirroring each other, being able to resonate with each other, right? A lesson for us all. We have the union read here, the Syrian Starseed deck. Okay, we have the Divine Feminine on the left, Masculine on the right, incoming Divine Feminine, outgoing Divine Masculine, 4D, 5D, 6D. The center is the coming together, the bridging between the Masculine and Feminine, twin flames. The underlying energy is the Empress over here, and then the closing energy is the Three of Wands. We have the basic read for the twin flame read here. Again, the Syrian Starseed deck with the Ace of Cups upright in the middle of the read. And then we have the message of the day here, which was very significant. And then here's the complete twin flame read that you see in front of you with the 7 deck clarifiers. It's the Syrian Starseed deck, along with the Romance Angels, the Numerology deck, the Tarot Sexual Magic, the Gilded Tarot, the Universal Golden Tarot, and then the Mini Rider-Waite, for those of you not familiar. I also have a CD out there called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe, if you want to check it out. It's only $1. It's a great way to support me and maybe help you clear some wounding as well. And yeah, let's get right into the message of the day. Okay. So the dice, let's do the dice first. For twin flames today is August 15th, 2021. That's the 8 of strength, inner and outer strength, of manifesting your dreams during the dance between the masculine and feminine. And the 15 of the devil, which is the shadow of everyone. Let's go ahead and the dice. We have number 4, which is the Emperor, but it's also building stability, safety, and security issues, manifesting on a survival level as opposed to dreams. And then here we have Venus, and we have Aries. So Venus is Libra, so it's on the axis with Aries. So that axis is coming up here along with the number 4, which is also April, which is also Aries. So a emphasis on Aries there. So let's see what comes up regarding balance and imbalance. And the message of the day. Today is Sunday, and the message of the day was done at 10:53 this morning. 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. 53 is the Knight of Swords, the Messenger of Truth, or the Knight in Shining Armor, however you look at it, your perspective. And the underlying energy was the well water. The first card out was the breakthrough of the sun from the clouds, and then the cross, which has to do with the burdens and the challenges, perhaps religion as well. And the first thing that was coming up was roll on up for the prices down, which is from Jesus Christ Superstar in the marketplace. Rolling up for the prices down, going deep, clearing emotional waters, as well as water purity, a breakthrough in identifying the problem before we can solve it. And that actually came up in a movie I just watched the other day too. You can't solve the problem until you can identify the problem. So star, hope, healing, and dreams come true with wise conversation or advice from grounded old birds with mountaineer child or a block to a child's stability, meeting or traveling publicly to get paperwork done or contracts signed, a pup wanting a clue or to do research, announcing or dictating, or wanting a surgical report, office visit, autopsy or lab test result, to cut out the BS or rule out what it is not. Taking a chance on dreams, a home, a union, or a roommate perhaps that you don't know, or a fixer-upper, or petty annoyances, or not knowing if you can trust them in your home. Before crossing that bridge to turnkey home, or finding a place for a child that's public and healthy and with everything they need, and a feeling of good luck and fortune for an innocent pup and loving lady at 1109, which is the reflection of 9/11. 1109 is justice and the hermit, truth and balance, and going within. For good luck and fortune for the innocent pup and the loving lady, with a gift, perhaps of a book, or secret codes, or a safe to put things in, or a tool to magnify or test for bacteria or viruses, a water test perhaps, impatient for clearance, or with tools to stay healthy. Community chatter and socializing, staying in our own lane, allowing others to find their own way there. Seek and you shall find. Exposing all and cutting cords as the fox leaves the grid of feminine troops to the country and polar bear country, or perhaps somebody's moving to Canada, or around Niagara Falls, or near the state border, so that you can easily cross over if you need another perspective or further inspection. To spiritual peace and or maturity, public abundance, and a fortunate letter or sealed document, or a sealed card, or perhaps a birthday card and masks. It's not what it seems. Tapping into the sap from the tree, or to see if you're going to get sappy again. The innocent wanting loving lady to take the lead due to the family tree. Traveling with gifts, codes, and synchronicities that's so much fun, giving you a closer look at the loving man with lots of toxic tools at his disposal, or staff biting those that come near their sustenance, which is him, right? The sappy loving man. Whips, chains, knives, and poisonous snakes. Or apples at 1157, justice and the Three of Swords, the separation. Venom and toxins, which relates to the separation as well. And snake in the Garden of Eden, or E's den. The Galactic Federation taking risk with the Divine Feminines and our Starseed community, becoming an institution with restrictions, or building heaven on earth, or an adventure of your life over the mountain and through the woods. To you, opening new doors to energize as power women. The I wrote down the fail, but I think it's the fox. Oh, it's the tail. So you're going over the mountain and through the woods to you, opening new doors to energize as the power woman. The tail being chased, right? Because the feminine polarized is being chased by the masculine. The tail being chased, becoming two as one, and that can be chase as well. Being two as one with self, which is your other, and mama bear's direction. Perhaps pushing your spiritual maturity and peace before you deal with masks and illusions about commitments, the ring of fire and the circle of trust. In any kind of commitment here at 1201 to 2, which is the hanging man, and then the magician and the high priestess. The family resting with the golden egg, that nest egg, looking up at extended family, the loving lady and pup or innocent child, in a time crunch to travel, perhaps after the full moon, pinpointing the mid-moon around the 25th of August to September 5th, or subconscious energies coming up regarding the bad blood between the loving man and the angry power man, and that can be within their own selves. The loving side, who likes to investigate science or details and do shadow work. And the other side of the work it takes to separate the wheat from the chaff, to crack the whip with the rod and staff, and deal with toxic people and poison apples, making him angry and frustrated and short-tempered, feeling forced to do what he doesn't resonate with, and needing to come to the realization that no one can force you to do anything you don't want to do. It is always your choice at 12:08, which is the hangman and the dance of the 8 between your masculine and feminine, and rising to manifest your dreams. So this statement is very important here, and it may be confusing at first, but then we'll see how that unfolds. So, we've been talking about how important it is to be authentic to yourself and in your truth and speak your truth and all that kind of stuff, which is still true. But listen to this statement. Love frees, truth imprisons. And remember what it says in the movie The Two Popes, that without love, the truth can be excruciatingly painful. So love frees and truth imprisons. And why is that? Because as long as your truth differs from another's truth, you will butt head to head. But when your whole truth becomes the love that you are, unconditionally, then we all resonate. So learn to love each other's differences while being authentic to yourself, to go your own way when no one's in a loving place with you and Spirit's connecting with me. To be the horse trainer, says Mr. Ed, keep showing up every day with love and an organic apple or two, and allow them to come to you when they're ready, giving them time to learn to trust your energy. There need not be a long story here about anything to defend. You don't need to defend yourself. If you become, it's so important that you understand we need to become things to unbecome those things. That is the lessons that we learn. You need to become it to understand it so that you don't need it or don't despise it, right? So we don't want to attach and we don't want to resist. We need to be in the middle of everything, and that's unconditional love. Because if you're obsessed with something, you need to allow yourself and love yourself for obsessing it until you're bored of it or you're sick of it and you don't need to be obsessed about it anymore. That is the point. You need to teach that lesson that then may become outdated because it no longer needs to be, because you've already understood the lesson, you've integrated it, and now it doesn't need to be because you know what the next lesson is. It's something beyond that, okay? And everybody's in their own timelines. So everyone's truth is going to be different based on where they are in their ascension. So it's the same thing with obsessions or addictions, right? Love yourself for loving it until you get sick of it, right? Because as long as you try to punish yourself for that, you're going to keep wanting it, right? Anything that someone tries to take away from you, you're going to resist. And you're going to want that even more. So instead of punishing yourself for whatever obsession or addiction you have, well then go ahead and love it until you can't do it anymore. And that's why the drug addict ends up falling, because they keep doing it until they almost die, until they hit bottom. And then there's nowhere else to go but up, unless they just want to die. And they have to make that choice at that moment. So hopefully we don't need to go to those extremes. We're learning not to have to go there. And then again, by resisting things, something that may disgust you. Well, maybe an ant could have disgusted me, 30 years ago. And now the little ants are my friends because you learn to resonate with them, learn something about them. I learned about the ants by taking them out every day until they stopped coming in all the time. And then all of a sudden I saw them in a different way and how cute they are, washing themselves at my sink while I do my dishes. And, I don't want 100 ants in my house. I'm talking about, I have 2 to 4 ants maybe, and sometimes none. But they don't come into my house anymore because I've made peace with their energy. So again, it's about learning a lesson until you don't need that lesson anymore, about resistance or obsession about something, right? So we have to go through these lessons until we don't need them anymore. Because when we are unconditionally loving, we need nothing at all. We just are. When we no longer need words to express or tell our story, Because remember, guys, you don't need to defend yourself to anyone. You don't need to tell your story. When you lose the need to tell your story, that's when you know that you're rising above. Because we truly feel each other. And when we feel each other, we become more in tune with each other's and the collective energies. When you get frustrated, hug them instead to melt those old nasty energies away at 1216, which is the Hanging Man and the Tower. There are no words needed to say, to explain. Just feel your way through. Because the words just end up hurting you anyway. So again, love frees and truth imprisons. Because remember, our ultimate truth isn't our 3D human selves. It's the loving soul that we are. So as long as you want to stick to your guns, and I'm guilty of the same, right? Or speaking our story, defending our story. You know, even about needing to forgive our parents, right? And not being able to forgive, or still needing to, I found myself doing that yesterday when I was at the shower. You know, someone coming up to pay me a compliment about how loving my mother was, and I knew that that person didn't know the other side of my mother. And my need to express that to that person, that wasn't all of her. But at the same time, well, maybe that was all of her, the loving side of her. And I'm the one who's stuck in the vibrations of her shadow side. And me needing to go back to her childhood. And believe me, even when she was still alive, I was still loving to her. I still love my mother. But there's always that part of you that is angry that your mother couldn't truly love you or truly let you be who you were, or not be mean to you, you know, that kind of stuff. And you know, when you look at them as a child, you know, my mother didn't have it as good as I did. Her parents were very detached people. I mean, physically, you know, she had plenty of security in that sense, but her parents were very detached. Her father was didn't show love. I never saw it as a grandchild. He basically was quiet whenever we were in the house. I used to hide his cigarettes to get his attention. So it's like coming from a family with, he was a pediatrician, and yet he didn't even speak to his own grandchildren. I'm sure he maybe did later in life, but I didn't know him personally because we only saw him once or twice a year, and he never really spoke to me. So again, realizing that even though, you know, my mom definitely was a challenge to live with because she had a bad temper, she had, you know, her parents weren't able to show her the love that she was at least able to show me. Because even though she had a really bad temper and she could be really mean and you know, she could hit me or whatever, she was also very loving and supportive, and put so much energy into supporting all 5 of us kids. So again, there's always a new perspective to see in the story, that we don't actually need our stories, because when it comes down to it, right? If you think about someone, if they're going to die tomorrow, do you still want to be in that energy with them if it's someone you really love? Well, no, of course you don't. You just want to give them a hug and perhaps cry and just tell them that you love them. So there's a really important lesson here about what the truth actually is, because what you think is your authentic truth isn't actually your authentic truth. Your authentic truth is just the loving soul that you are. The anger and all that other stuff is ego, and that's not your truth. That's not who you are. So remember, love frees and truth can imprison. It's not until you are able to integrate truth and love into one that, you know, that becomes the whole package. All right, so let's go into the union read here. All right, so the union read, 4D, 5D, 6D, for August 18, 2021. The underlying energy was the abundance, or the Empress, the central energy, the Queen of Wands, and the final energy was the Three of Wands, which is, you know, for some traditional readers, it means waiting for your ship to come in. But again, depending on the deck, it depicts different things. And for me, for the twin flame journey, it's very much about being present in the moment. You know, not needing to wait for anything. You have everything you need right here in this moment. So the Empress, with her arms open wide, with the Queen of Wands ready, willing, and able to delve deeper and be present to their flame and open right back. It's like the energy of bookends with someone in the middle, right? And a mother with her arms open wide on one end, and then a younger, even 3 generations. It goes from like a grandmother, mother in the center, and then the grandchild in the closing energies, where the mother is facing forward with her arms open wide. And the child at the end is also with her arms open wide facing the other direction, as if she was going to hug the grandmother. This also brings up generation skipping energies. And then we have the Queen of Wands, or the mother, in the middle, you know, multitasking and needing to do everything at once for the child and for the mother. So it's very interesting, the dynamic that came up here. The incoming divine feminine here is the moon or Luna, the 7 of Swords in the center, and the 7 of Cups at the end. And the third card is the 7 of Cups. So notice here, remember, there was 77 twice in a row for the masculine side, and today there's 77 for the feminine. I mean, that's, you know, statistically, that's like huge. So now we have it again on the divine feminine side this time. With the moon, we have the full moon coming up on the 22nd, which also is supposed to be a significant portal of bringing in like direct connection to your higher self. The 7 of Swords and the 7 of Cups, which is risky and having to do with synchronicities, and the 77 of the Sovereignty. The Empress of Abundance, powering up from the universe to build, and remember the Empress is abundance and Gaia as well, to build toward the full moon, going through the mid-moon on 8/15, which is today, through the full moon on 8/22, passing downloads or unloading a bit, with plenty of excess before ascending circular steps to 5D heaven. The divine feminine mother load diving deep to support the weight of the divine masculine through his next full moon, releasing and starting over again. And remember, September is the beginning of the school year, when everybody starts over again. The 9/9 gate and the fall. Okay, the fall is the humbling of yourself, falling to your knees, no longer needing to be right because you just want to be loved. The fall is the start where you get to reap what you've sown, right? When you've grown everything in the spring through the summer, now you get to eat those things that you've grown, or appreciate the flowers that you've grown, whatever it is. But anyway, that is like the back to work time too in September, when you're supposed to go back to school and start studying hard because you had a break in the summer. So let's see what comes up with that. And remember that 9/9 is also all about endings and compassion. It's about ending a cycle and starting again. And remember that the 9/9 is also the collective consciousness. And this is also the time of our year as the twin flames, I know, for me anyway. There's always a kind of a disconnect from your abilities and connecting with your higher self. It's all of a sudden like you have a hard time connecting from August till September. And that's been happening every year. And there's a reason for that. You're being tested in your humanity again. You know, how can you, how 5D are you going to be without help from outside sources? So the 4D here is the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. The divine feminine inspired or excited to inspire a child or idol. The divine masculine ending pain or in a painful ending or getting a massage, or doctors make the worst patients. Bridging by counting to 9, someone might be peaking at 10, or just hiding below ground so no one will seek them. Perhaps one big purge is going on for the divine masculine. In the 5D is the High Priestess, the Queen of Wands, and the 10 of Wands. The divine feminine higher self, waxing and building to the full moon. In the northern lights and plasma ethers, the divine masculine Atlas, leaving the wounded warrior behind, or perhaps a pain in the butt. Following that little light, oh mine, one step at a time. Bridging with Firestarter, or all-in-one healer, or the Queen of Drama, the Drama Queen, with abundant mama, or mama and child and their gifts, or present, open and willing. And then my daughter was texting me at that point too. So again, the grandmother, mother, and child, 3 generations of women coming up here, but there's 3 generations of men as well. The 60 here is the Hanging Man, the Knight of Wands, and the King of Wands. The divine feminine hanging out with new perspectives of the divine masculine's blocks. The divine masculine King of Wands shaman from that 70s show, bridged by the Knight of Wands royal with a slow burn and no hair on his chest or waxed. The whole fire family is here with the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands, and Page of Wands. Present here, like you're raising your hand in class. The eyes have it. I am that I am. Remember, the lowercase I is the chakra system with a third eye at the top. At 8:14, which was the date yesterday, the strength card of the dance and manifestation of your dreams, and the 14 of a higher love. The divine feminine asking the higher self to hang out. The divine masculine leaving pain behind, the wounded warrior or basement behind, upstairs where there's more light, and the King of Wands shaman and the Knight of Wands hanging out or manifesting this. The bridge between them here is the suffering and silence, perhaps a sister, or purging, hiding to end the nightmare of the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands and American Idol, perhaps. The outgoing divine masculine here with ascension, karma, and the 10 of Cups. Completion of karma around the world in 10 days. Niagara or Viagra, rainbow pyramid, stacked for the flyer on top to get all the light while the water falls. So again, here's the waterfalls, but also the water of emotions and the fall coming up. Ending the emotional cycle in order to find fulfillment with the flame and be present, gifts and all. 3 generations of women and men rearranging their priorities. As tic-tac-toe, the Page of Wands leads the divine feminine to the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, the parents of the Knight of Wands, or parent and sibling, or they're all siblings here. The 3 bears, the 3 pigs, and the middleman, as one man or woman band. The middle child, the mom, the grandchild, or the mom with the grandparent and the child, skipping a generation. And again, hop, skip, and jump is coming up with that tic-tac-toe and the 3 energies. At 8:24, which is skipping generations. 8 is, again, the dance, and the 24 is the Queen of Wands. And she's in the middle of the read. She's also in the twin flame read at the end. So that energy of the Queen of Wands is very significant here. And also August 24th is coming up, which is a Virgo, but with a lot of fire in them. Okay? So again, we're getting that transition from Leo to Virgo on the 22nd. Again, I'm getting it as very significant. The divine feminine with Taurus, Cancer, Pisces, and Capricorn on her side with the Page of Wands. And perhaps on the divine masculine side, Pisces and Aquarius with the King of Wands, shaman. Between them is perhaps the baby hiding from the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Okay, because that could be too, we talk about the middle child here with the Queen of Wands in the middle, but also the baby of the family, always trying to get away with something because they can because they end up getting spoiled. So it has to do with the placement of, your pecking order in the family. And again, the parent, and then the child here of 3 generations. The divine feminines manifesting divine masculines. I have here, so Luna came up with 77 on the feminine side, but I'm getting the LU, which is Lu, which is the shadow side, but it's also love and the Holy Grail, which is the divine feminine's womb, which is the divine feminine, the love, and the womb, which is the within, the darkness, toggling up the higher vibration of the 77 in sovereignty, or 2 chariots. A sense car. And what's a sense car? The chariot. The chariot's all about the 5 senses, or the 6 senses, or the 7 senses of the 10 of Cups, the gift, the emotional fulfillment. And then carnitine came up, which is needed for energy production in the body. So you may need to take carnitine. You might want to research that online, so you can if you want. But it transports long-chain fatty acids into the mitochondria so they can be oxidized or quote-unquote burned to produce energy. It's an amino acid derivative. Some people take it as a weight loss supplement, but remember to get the L-carnitine, not the D or the DL, but the L-carnitine. It also is supposed to help with sperm count and ovulation production, and also can decrease myocarditis and death of children with diphtheria. So you might want to check that out. That was from webmd.com. It also can cause a fishy odor And they warned not to use the D-carnitine or the DL. The L-carnitine is the one you want. So the read came out with the number 56, which is the Two of Swords, being in your knowing without needing to express, perhaps, which is the lesson we were just talking about. And then the horizontal pillars came out to 3, 10, and 43, which is the Empress, the 10 of the Wheel, the 43 of the Three of Cups. And the vertical pillars came out as 77, 9, 20, and 13, which is the Two Chariots or the Sovereign, the Hermit, the Judgment card, and the Death card. So the message was coming up as the Empress, destined to come together by knowing, or destined to joy of knowing without needing to tell. You don't need to defend your authenticity to anyone. When you learn to be authentic, right, undoing all of your shadow work with your parents, or by doing the shadow work about your parents, you're undoing all those blocks from being your authentic self. But once you can be your authentic self, you don't need to prove it anymore, right? Then you can just let it go because you already know. You don't need to prove to anyone what you already know about yourself. It's for that, that's their wound then. That's on them to clear. If they can't deal with how you are, then that's their wound they need to clear. So Two Chariots or Sovereign, Hermit, announcing a death, an ending, or transformation into knowing and not telling or not needing to tell. But again, the Two of Swords is all about keeping your energy clear, but also about staying out of it so you don't have to deal with negative energy, basically. So 842 is the dance, and the 42 of the Two of Cups. So the dance of coming together in 1-to-1. The Syrian Starseed deck was cut and dealt at that time. And the Divine Masculine's heart in the Bat Cave, the Divine Feminine in the woods by the creek, both looking down, while the Knight of Cups is in the green room preparing, perhaps swimming laps or in artificial waves. You know, those new waves, they have a machine that can create waves, so you don't actually go anywhere, but you can still swim in a wave or surf. Swimming in place, projected up in an outpouring of love and making a splash, challenged by the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or quote-unquote red, now getting wish by making an offer at work in energetic exchange with a lot of communication or travel or sexual energy back and forth with higher self, and or the Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups, which can be Aquarius and Cancer, or that just means that they're healing at night, or the release of the full moon here, with the Page of Wands with a mask inspired by the Knight of Swords, stone pillar, with 3 sets of kids or couples here in the Knight of Cups and Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands and Page of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles and the Sovereign, or higher self. At 9/11, ES came up, which is the word for S, the Sophia, but it's also my initials. So again, it's confirming the Divine Feminine energy. At 9/11, right? So 9/11 is coming up, obviously. And it actually happens to be a date that I just set with to my nephew's fiance and her sister are coming over to hang out with me and work on some crystal healing work. So that should be fun. So it's a very significant time. We also have the completion of the read at 9/22. So here again, we have the 22 and the 11 and the 9s. So very significant from August 22nd to 9/11, and perhaps into September 22nd as well, which is the switch into Libra. And again, the switch from Virgo to Libra is exactly mid-cycle of the whole astrological chart, right? 6 before and 6 after. And the twin flame read here, we have as the major arcana, the higher self was the only major arcana in the read, very significant, which is the twins, because you are each other's higher selves. The higher self is also Pisces energy. There can be Virgo or Aquarius that comes up with that card as well. After the read, we had the star and Luna, so the moon and the stars. Before the read, we have Justice, which is truth and balance. We have the Four Pentacles, 4 cups, so a lot of pentacles and cups. Pentacles are not just money, it's practical energies of day-to-day living, time, money, and effort. And then we have the cups of emotional feelings, right? Love and other emotional feelings, 4 of each, and then 2 wands. There were no swords in this read, which is great. You know, not being in your head, feeling your way through. And the wands has to do with motivation and energy, and being inspired, but also getting busy physically. The Knight of Cups came up in the read, as well as the Knight of Pentacles. And there were 3 knights clustered together. So again, the 3 knights of darkness may be coming up. They were all reversed. The only knight that was upright in the read is the Knight of Swords, which is the messenger of truth, or the knight in shining armor, the one bringing in the truth, which can feel harsh at times, right? Because it is cutting, it's a sword. The Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. We also had the Nine of Cups, which can be a person, right? Very satisfied with themselves in the read. And before the read, the Nine of Pentacles came up, which is the sovereign. After the read, the Queen of Cups, Page of Wands, and King of Swords came up. So a lot of people came up in these reads. We had triple ones as far as the numbers, so a lot of new beginning energy. We have, a lot of aces were coming up here in this read, clustered together in twos. So you'll see up here, we have this is the most underlying energy. You can't see it because of the reflection, but that's the Ace of Cups, which has all the light, and the Ace of Swords. So that's the message that we're getting today with the message of the day, with love being freedom and truth being imprisonment. And then we have the Ace of Cups right in the middle of the read. There were two cups underneath the bottom card here. Let me just push this just a little bit. So here's the underlying energy. That's the Divine Masculine's heart, the Four of Crystals, or Four of Pentacles in this deck is the crystals. And beneath that is two aces as well. I think it's the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So they came up together yesterday as well. So there's definitely big love being offered to each other. So the triple ones, very, very significant. A lot of new start energy. We also had double fives, which is the truth, and 99 of compassion and universal selflessness, the collective consciousness. So again, tapping into your collective, being in your truth, but realizing it must be brought forward with love. And then the triple ones of new beginnings. We also have 3, 4, 5 of the 3D, 4D, 5D, and 8, 9, 10 begin again and again and again. Every time you expand and learn, you come back to center again. And you may not need to teach that. You may not believe in that anymore because you've already integrated it and now it becomes something else. That's how you grow. We also have 15 of the shadow, the devil. 59 of that 5 of swords, which is the war within. That same kind of energy. 13 of the death card. 58 of the 4 of swords. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. The code line was all about the number 9, and it came up from 43110, one whole number, 43,110. So if that resonates with someone, I'd be very surprised. But it also can be 4311, but it also could be 431 and 10, which would be 441, which is the reflection of 144, as we had 911 come up with 1109. Okay, so there's reflections of 911 and 144 and 441. And of course, the double digits reflect each other automatically. 1s, 22s, 33, 44s, and triple digits, of course, as well. So we have the code line all about adventure and forgiveness, which were broken up into adven, chore, and forgive-eness. And so E represents a lot of different things. It can represent your expansion and freedom and change. It also can represent the divine feminine, the Elohim energy in general. The Christ reflection of I am that I am. For 3, that Ace, the 10 of Pentacles, the Knight of the Christ consciousness, right? The collective Christ consciousness, the DNA, the nor'easter perhaps. But there's definitely northeast energies coming up here, or nor'easter. So I don't know if there's going to be some kind of storm coming in. It is September, so that's time, it's almost September. So that's the time of the year when we get a lot of storms. So it could be a nor'easter coming up, blowing without Saturn. So again, they're bringing up these comparisons of, what's the point of doing something without this, right? So blowing without Saturn, or without gusto. Or in other words, not putting your all into it, right? Because Saturn's the taskmaster. And they always put themselves fully into it, right? Because they're very responsible and are willing to sacrifice. But if you're blowing, just saying that you're blowing a kiss, but without any gusto or without putting your all into it, the Emperor and the Empress, one wealthy family with the Knight of Christ consciousness DNA. The vulva or slut energy was coming up here without energy. So, or vitamin K was also coming up here. in an adventure of forgiveness, the journey of e-ness. The butterfly without flowering again. What would a butterfly be without being able to flower again, right? Because I always deal with the flowers. The butterfly without flowering again, or becoming again. The Emperor and the Empress, magician embodiment. The 10 of crystals, or the dream world, or the ultimate high vibe Christ-like night with a KN, or night as in day and night, of the DNA change. To gaze, to show, to ride alone. 01 is the loneliest number that you'll ever know. To travel head to heart or tete-a-tete. The landslide directional, to gaze at the sun. The bovine eater, or someone who's a pig or a cow. 0 to get along. 0 point, an island where you journey or trip a lot. A 3-hour tour to hell and back, right? Gilligan's Island. A slut without energy, what point is that? But remember, in the Hieroskamos, there's very little that you need to do to go to heaven and back, okay? So you're like showing the polarity of this. The Christ expansion and contraction for 3, acing the 10 of crystals, high vibe, Christ-like night, or ultimate Christmas Eve or Summer's Eve. Then Jacob's Ladder came up, which was originally released on October 29th, 1990, which happens to be the very day my son was born. So, of course, I watched Jacob's Ladder last night, which is all about an adventure in forgiveness, which was very interesting. So, and Spirit's connecting with me. So I watched Jacob's Ladder. I hadn't watched it in a long time. But again, it's about a Vietnam vet, I think it's Vietnam, who is going through issues with PTSD and drug issues, and I have to bring up the drug too, because that came up in the movie too. That was important, so I'll get to that in a second. All right, that comes up during this read. So, but what I do want to bring up from the movie is that, you know, the whole movie, you think it's just about him losing his mind from PTSD and doing drugs or whatever. But when it comes down to the end of the movie, it's really about the illusion of his heart being broken by the girl of his dreams and his brother taking his girl. So yeah, you can't fix the problem until you know what it is. You can't fix the wound until you know what the entry wound is. And in this movie, the entry wound was where the girl he was in love with got stolen by his brother, right? The one person he truly loved, his brother. And then having gone through the war, all of the unraveling that happened with the drugs and the PTSD all fed back into that wound. It was interesting because it's now I'm getting like, you know how they in the movie all of a sudden they'll reverse everything. That's what I'm getting right now. All of a sudden you unravel everything. Everything comes back to the source. And then everything else just disappears. So that's important. All right, so this read started out with the 4 of Pentacles reversed, which in this deck for me is the Divine Masculine's heart in the Bat Cave. It's a crystal cave at 10-10, which is 2 Wheel of Fortunes, 2 turns for the better. And also the Wheel of Fortune's divine timing. So divine timing for 2. The Divine Masculine's heart in the Bat Cave. And beneath it was the 9 of Pentacles upright, the Sovereign, the 5 of Pentacles reversed, Justice reversed, the Ace of Swords upright, and then the Ace of Wands upright. So all these aces, all 4 aces were upright in this read, which is really good. Also in some of the pics I took yesterday, I was getting interesting images like of the X, like X marks the spot, but also it's like someone with their arms up in the air, like ready to pounce. I'm trying to think, like a wizard. Or even like, what's the pose from Karate Kid? That, I don't know, it's not a stork, but you know the pose I'm talking about. I'm getting that kind of energy, like ready to pounce. And, okay, this has to do with the HDA. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. So the Sovereign recovering from injustice of the truth and passion, what lies beneath the real truth, the ignition, the flame, and the drama, the inspiration, all at the same time. The triumph of flame, of Divine Mason's heart opening up, or his chest cut open, which happened in the movie at 10:19, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the sun. And I don't want to tell you all the details of the movie because you might want to watch it again. But yeah. So again, in the military, in war, somebody's chest was cut open in that movie as well. But that's coming up here again. The Divine Mason's heart opening up, or his chest cut wide open. And what do you think was more painful, a chest being cut open or his heart being broken for the first time, right? And after a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual energy exchange, letting go to repair or make amends. Deception, or up before dawn to fight another day, to face your fears, the enemy, the defensive end. The hermit moving to peace outside the world of the divine feminine, or Pisces and hermit or Virgo dealing with depression or the need to heal or the need to dream again at 10:28, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Two of Wands. The twin flames are the choice of path. And then what came up for me when I was really little, I wasn't really little, but I was a young teenager. I forget what year it was. I had a dream about my baby brother, and I woke up with my pillow soaked. I was crying. And so that, I don't usually remember that dream, but that came up for a reason here, because obviously that's an entry wound of something, and it's related to my twin. And then from the movie, the drug that they said that they were giving these vets was making them crazy. And it's called, first, the pharmacist literally says HTA, but it's not actually HTA, it's HDA. It's HDAC or HDI. But I watched it twice to see what letter he was saying, and he said HTA. So I looked up HTA first, because there was obviously a reason why I heard HTA. And it came up Healthcare Trust of America, Inc., which is a $7.5 billion medical office building industry with health technology assessment, which arose in the mid-1960s. That's also HTA. And also Hawaii Tourism Authority. And HTA file extension opens a dialog box that says, what would you like to do with this file? But mostly what I was getting when I was opening HTA had to do with the Healthcare Trust of America. These big corporations which are affiliated with, harming not just soldiers, but offering, just think about, they own all these office buildings, $7.5 billion in office buildings, which means they run the offices inside those office buildings and all the doctors and dentists and all the other doctors, right? So what power do they have over what they do to their patients? That was kind of a scary feeling right there. And then HTA-global.com also came up, which is an Australian company investing in aerospace and defense, advanced thermoprocessing. And those black jets came up, of the secret jets that everyone's working on. There was pictures of these black jets. It wasn't the triangular jets that we were seeing, or I was telling you about the other day, but there's still the black jets, which are supposed to be based on the ET ships that our military have found over the years. So then HDA with a D is Healthcare Distribution Alliance. Again, all having to do with healthcare and the control they have over what kind of drugs our vets get and our people get and our children get and the V's and all that kind of stuff. Tempted by death and or dark night transition, coming together without options, right? You're not having other choices but to go to these doctors who are controlled by these other people. So it doesn't mean your doctors are bad people, but they're all controlled to a certain extent by the powers that be, because they control their licenses and they control the hospitals they work in. They're all controlled. So again, HDA is a drug from the government for PTSD, but makes them crazy. It's actually initialed HGAC or HDI, which is histone decetylase, or it's decetylase inhibitor. So histone decetylase inhibitor. And again, it's now that same drug is being investigated now for possible treatment for cancers, parasitic, and inflammatory disease. Again, sounds kind of poisonous to me. All right. So again, they're still using it. Yeah, very interesting. So, and this, I worked in the cancer research business. So yeah, it's kind of a scary feeling that they still want to investigate using drugs that, did this to people, our soldiers. So anyway, compassion and mirroring dance without options, man down and kids upset, infringing upon his territory and assuming the worst. Man down and no one paying attention, walking right over them. Or they're celebrating their death, but unable to implement the next step. Home, union, celebration, and injustice, the things didn't work out for a secret passion, a waste at 11:18, which is justice and the moon. The streetcar named Desire, between the Judge reversed, or Libra reversed, and Pisces reversed, or High Priestess reversed, which can be a secret passion and romantic feelings, and beneath that was stay optimistic about your love life for the twins and the underlying energy. The King of Swords is reversed in this read, out of his mind, and again that can represent the wounded warrior, and they use that term, wounded warrior, in the movie at the VA. So again, the King of Swords can represent that soldier out of his mind, surrendering to another world, unloading, confessing only after the fact, after jealous rage, with illusions of being attacked and dark goats always around him and beasts with hairy legs, towering inferno or racist, or freaking out about daughter's boyfriend, or obsessing with killing the one who traumatized their child or wife, or finding out their wife has been sleeping around. So there's all sorts of situations coming up here. And that can be just paranoia as well. Pisces upright, Scorpio reversed here, and new beginnings, and beneath that health, and how important health is. And here we're talking about healthcare business too. The Magician's reversed here, which can be insecurities, manipulations, and not having the right tools to deal with things, or physical tools to do what you need to do to manifest. So this Magician reversed, insecure and manipulative and without the tools, and in a happy ending going forward with eye on the prize, the high vibe prize at 11:38, which is the Queen of Cups. It's written 38:11. 11 is also justice, truth and balance. After duking it out, over isolating, and now coming out on Jacob's ladder here at 11:38 here now. Holding back an announcement, poor judgment, or perhaps choked, the day the music died, where there's now no more joy. The party went south, perhaps funneling drinks and near-death experience. Somebody could be reliving something that happened in their youth, right? A death experience that maybe they were involved with, or maybe it was a result of them. Maybe they felt at fault, or maybe they went to jail for something, or maybe something they felt guilty about. And this can be sex with girls and guys at a young age too. So all those kind of wounds are coming back up. Holding back an announcement, poor judgment, or choked the day the music died, where there was no more joy. Where a party went south, funneling drinks, or a near-death experience, or fell out of a window. Bad influences, or under the influence. Third party, or antisocial, or social distancing coming up. The Divine Masculine's heart opening without a choice to secret passion after jealous rage, and a new beginning, feeling insecure and unable to manifest. The underlying energies here is the statement I brought to you earlier from the message of the day, where the Holy Grail, or love, frees and truth imprisons. When you need to go through that truth to become authentic to yourself because of all the wounding from our parents and everything else we experienced in our life, once you become your authentic self, then you don't need to defend your truth anymore because you already know your truth. Once you know it, you don't need to defend it anymore. You don't need to speak it. It just is. So then going forward after this read is the energy of the wounded warrior in surrender, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Emperor reversed, receiving love under the radar, unable to function, and the King of Wands reversed with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or world, with loss or dysfunction, or misappropriation of funds, and the Knight of Cups reversed, who could be jealous, or a schmoozer, someone who's insincere. That can also be someone who feels rejected, of the Queen of Pentacles upright, injustice of their happy ending, or having found emotional fulfillment without them. So there's energy here too of what the feminine felt about the Divine Masculine, who was going out partying and didn't care that she was, wanted to die, And now it's coming around again where it's the opposite, where the feminine is now healed, and now the masculine feels like the feminine is going on without him and doesn't care. Okay, it's the same type of energy. The recent past here is the Five of Cups reversed, getting over the loss, the regret in the past. The King of Swords reversed, lying to themselves, with the Queen of Pentacles reaping rewards of death, dark night, transition to the Hermit with the light, dumping a load in energetic exchange, with the King of Wands reversed, having sex with or being offered new passion, growth, or creativity from a divorced Queen of Wands reversed, or someone who's alternative, or Taurus Queen of Wands reversed, dissatisfied with the Queen of Swords reversed, who may be overworking or just not working out, and the Page of Wands who's inspired by the King of Swords reversed. Or there could be King of Swords reversed twins. I was getting more brother twins, but it can be, two masculine twins coming together, or brothers who are a lot alike and not necessarily twins, or this could be one person with a split personality. Scorpio upright, Virgo upright, and Taurus reversed here. The foundation is the Knight of Cups reversed, rejected, jealous, or insincere, but keeping quiet, and the Page of Swords spreading the word to the world, broken in surrender, under the radar, and feeling a failure. So someone is trying to keep everything quiet, and then the other is spreading it to the world, which is the play out between the masculine and the feminine. The central energy here is the Ace of Cups upright, the Holy Grail, the temptation waving and dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads with issues at work, with the Queen of Swords reversed, out of options or no choice in the matter, when the King of Wands reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed want to have sex, or divorced and having angry sex and perhaps a third feeling it, right? That's the twin. Or the Queen of Wands reversed Taurus, pushing herself on the King of Wands reversed, and they could be in separation or living together still but not together, but her trying to force her sexual energy on the King of Wands reversed, while he is in energetic exchange with the Hermit, which can be the person going within, or that can be himself, or that can be the divine feminine as well. Pisces upright, Cancer reversed, Capricorn upright, and Taurus reversed. The challenge being the Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the loss or dysfunction after sudden events, epiphanies, or sexual exchange offered time, money, and effort, perhaps to the kids, when the kids actually want love, not money. The Page of Wands upright may be coming clean about wanting big love from the Ten of Pentacles reversed family, business, or community of dysfunction. And the Page of Pentacles, the perfect student, who's never satisfied with themselves because they're never good enough for the Queen of Wands reversed. And the King of Wands reversed is always working or giving to others and not them. The Knight of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. Perhaps children who are silenced and told to dump their emotional attachments, like stop, whining, right? Forget, it's like two kids being told to forget the synchronicities they see, pretend it doesn't exist. But then they're coming clean to close the distance gap and force them to wake up or knock them out of bed in sexual reunion of a new passion with patient angel, rejected, and then forced by sunshine, Leo, kids or pets at 12:21 a.m. to accept their passion or creativity, whether they like it or not, at 12:23, which is the Hanging Man and the King of Wands. A big passion between the patient angel and the vulnerable child, full of energy. And now for the twins is the Nine of Cups reversed. Unhappiness, dissatisfaction, not getting their way or their wish. The King of Cups upright and the kids, or soulmate, heartbroken or disappointed with the King of Cups reversed and the Emperor upright with the Empress reversed. Perhaps bad influences or three-way situation in the 5D connection, hanging out or trying to see a new perspective, or issues with a twin brother or same-sex relationship, or Emperor is between the Empress reversed and the King of Cups reversed, or brother who took his true love and never got over it, or hung out to dry, or lay to rest. So again, there could be, I was getting two King of Swords, one up, one down, but they were actually both reversed. And then the same thing happened with the King of Cups. Two King of Cups together, one up, one down, but they're both actually reversed energies. So again, it's mirroring. So it's either twin brothers or twin couples. And then we have, and they can even just be brothers that are very similar to each other, right? the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. This is where I told you there's 3 Knights all reversed. So this is 3 Knights of Darkness. All right here, along with the 9 of Cups reversed, which obviously everybody would be unhappy if that happened, right? Feeling depressed with the King of Pentacles reversed, fighting with the Queen of Swords reversed, or competing with her. The Knight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles both reversed and needing to heal with each other perhaps, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed, Aquarius, and the King of Pentacles reversed, just nonstop battle between the 3 of them. Sharing codependencies in an all-business relationship that's not working out, refusing to wake up and smell the coffee, or get out of bed during physical reunion, deception, and third-party big love at work, and made a fool. The Knight of Wands reversed, player, and recovering in spite of the juggler, the performer, or a twist of fate, or turn for the worst, announcing a wake-up call, a judgment that's not in the favor of the Emperor reversed who's out of control. Or this could be someone who's sick as well. Cancer reversed and Aries reversed times 2. Sagittarius and Libra both reversed, and Aquarius upright here. Soon for the twins is the Knight of Pentacles reversed, unable to function in a partnership, or perhaps being really stubborn, or on strike. Rejected and suffering in silence, or dealing with a sister. Between dysfunctional family, business, or community, and the 2 of Cups connection, or a vulnerable child, or dysfunctional family whose parents disowned them, or the Page of Cups reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed are really close because I feel like the family has disowned both of them, or they've become close because of the issues with their parents. So they're sticking together within a very dysfunctional family, business, or community, or a crooked business. The 2 of Cups is upright here, presenting the truth, perhaps to humiliate, release, and force them to leave, getting over loss, regret, or being judged by the home and family, or no one called for them to come home. So it could be like somebody who's waiting for them to just get over it and call them to say that it's okay to come home now, and they never did. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the 3 of Pentacles reversed with issues at work and not co-creating. The Knight of Swords rushing in, making no excuse, no apologies for the truth, for peace and a happy ending. Or the Knight of Swords who's late to see them off or to get them the news before they leave. The 10 of Cups family is being strong with the Empress upright and the Sovereign upright, which can be Leo and Taurus. But I also feel like, this could be a very positive and abundant mother and daughter here, perhaps with a pet or a Leo, or just being strong. But I also feel the weight of those energies. They could also be kind of the dark side of that, where they feel justified in their power over the Knight of Swords and basically attacking them and trying to hold them down. The Knight of Swords. And then who's trying to move to peace with the happy family or emotional fulfillment. So it's an interesting contrast there with, again, the Montagues and the Capulets, because the 10 of Cups would be the Capulets family, whereas the Empress and the 9 of Pentacles would be the mother and daughter of the Montague family. So again, there's a family dynamic here at war. And that just has to do with, family structures that are based on love and emotion, and family structures are based on money and wealth and power, okay? So, and the 10 of Pentacles will come up as that dream family, right? Because it encompasses everything. It's supposed to anyway, but often it goes into a power thing. But it's also representing heaven on earth eventually, right? Where everyone has plenty. So the twin flames seeing themselves as that, the 3 of Pentacles reversed, not co-creating, with issues at work, perhaps a divide between families, with the Knight of Swords rushing in, making no excuse, no apologies for the truth, for peace and a happy ending, or the Knight of Swords, late to see them off or get them the news before they leave again. So again, the 10 of Cups family being strong, with the Empress and the Sovereign and Leo or Taurus, which also Leo and Taurus come up as the very ego energies because it's stubbornness and ego. The Leo is ego. Very soon, healing family issues and making an effort. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the 8 of Wands upright. That energetic exchange, the arrows of love, lots of communication or travel back and forth, coming together to make a big offer to kids, pets, Leo, or to expose all, an expose. The Knight of Cups reverse may be jealous of an ex or lack of affection at the present, or jealous of ex's gifts or gift. The block here is the higher self reversed, the secret passion, right? Because that's more, the higher self upright is that very 5D energy of their connection. But when it's reversed, it becomes more of a 3D, that secret passionate connection. When someone denies what they're experiencing, right? It's a lie, it's a deception. The 1252 of the Hanging Man and the 52 of the Queen of Swords, with the patient angel, the higher love, going within and getting over the loss. Forgiveness, so important, which is so interesting, because in the very beginning of this, that was something I had texted or I had emailed at one point to my twin, was about forgiveness, that it was coming up so significantly. So forgiveness is always coming up significantly, because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, especially with the people closest to us, because they're the ones we blame for hurting us, right? So, and remember that forgiveness is for you, so that you can be at peace and not hold grudges with people. To allow compassion and love for them, even if they don't like you or resonate with you, but that's okay. Forgiveness and adventure. And a two-bowl split with the harsh truth out. The Queen of Wands reversed, who could be an Aries, but Aries reversed separately perhaps, manipulated and betrayed, or emotionally, she may be emotionally detached and cruel, or Cruella de Vil is coming up here, with the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed, who could be sisters or lovers in great pain, lacking faith in the fall. So there's a lot of same-sex relationships coming up here with the two queens and multiple two kings. So they could be twin sisters or sisters who are a lot alike, or same-sex relationships. Sisters or lovers in great pain, lacking faith in the fall, with patient angel and vulnerable child receiving passionate offer to expose all. And this could even be a child who maybe get paid to expose their family. Cancer reversed, Aries reversed, Sag and Leo upright, but Pisces reversed as well. So she's probably Aries, because we have Leo and Sag are upright here, but the Aries is reversed and the Queen of Wands is reversed. So she's probably Aries. The Queen of Cups reversed may be falling short in recovery, perhaps robbing Peter to pay Paul in a downturn, or calling out the Emperor reversed, which can be out of control, abusing his power, or out of control, losing his mind or stepping down, no longer able to do what he used to do because he's just getting older. And that could be someone who's ill or injured as well. The Queen of Wands reversed is probably an Aries, or could be Sag or Leo. The Queen of Cups reversed is coming up as Cancer here, with perhaps the Page of Cups, Pisces child right here as well. The Queen of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. The Queen of Cups and the Page of Cups reversed, which can also, these can all be couples as well as mother and child. It also could be father and child, where the father acts like a little kid and the daughter is more grown up than he is. That could be as well. Also, the Emperor reverse comes up with the Knight of Wands child or children. The Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands could be his children. Or the Knight of Wands and Libra reversed called out the Emperor reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed, and very negative Aries energy there. Or this can be a Queen of Wands can be the Emperor reverse, which would be a really scary woman there. That's not someone you want to deal with. She is very angry and perhaps is lying about who she is. Like, she wants to have all the control. So the perfect example of that is like, the wealthy man who marries a trophy wife, and she takes on the power of what he does, even though she's done none of it to get the abundance he has. But she takes on, and let's say that she's not a good person where she's doing charity work or taking care of the household. Let's say she's not doing any of that. She's being a bad mom. And not that everyone is. I'm just giving you this as an example. There's a wealthy man, and I'm not saying he's a great person either, but let's say there's a wealthy man, he's got a trophy wife, and she's not really, she's got all the time in the world, she can do whatever she wants, but she's not really taking proper care of the children the way she should, and she's not doing anything to help others, right? It's kind of service to self energy here. But that's the kind of energy I'm getting from someone who would be the Emperor reversed, Queen of Wands reversed, because she's living like the Emperor as the Queen of Wands reversed, who really has nothing to show for what this power is. It's not her power, but she's taken advantage of it because she's had the money and the power behind him. Or the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed could be Aquarius and Cancer reversed. The Page of Wands upright is masked, but inspired by the King of Swords reversed. He's grounding and integrating and mastering the receiving of love, allowing himself to receive. And this could be a younger brother even, really giving this person credit for having gone through the ringer or whatever they've been through, and admiring them for finally learning to receive love after all the trauma they've been through. So it could be a sibling or a partner who's inspired by them or inspiring them to love again. So as soon as the Nine of Pentacles, the Sovereign, recovering from exile, with the injustice of the truth and passion, and remember passion is ego and inspiration. Inspiration is the purity of it. Truth and passion of the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, the crystal Batcave, opening up about rejection and jealousies and issues at work, in energetic exchange and getting over loss, regret in the past, with new love and challenged by the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction, loss, or misappropriation of funds, and the Knight of Pentacles stuck without his higher self, unhappy and not getting their wish, with the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who may be depressed and deceived about the excitement of the King of Swords reversed. And that could be literally, like if he's excited, they were deceived as to what that was, when actually he's just been bored of them, of the same old, and they weren't excited about them, they were excited about their connection actually. The Divine Masculine's heart getting over loss with no reunion, no joy, only bad influences and social distancing, and the Knight of Cups reversed, who may be jealous or feeling rejected about a big love and not getting their wish, challenged by the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunction or loss, and issues at work with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stubborn or refusing to move or work or on strike, in energetic exchange or just a lot of back and forth communication or travel, with secret passion or Pisces reversed, and the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups reversed, or Aquarius and Cancer reversed, and the Page of Wands upright standing up for or to the King of Swords reversed. And that could be just someone in negative self-talk, so they may be sad or, losing their mind. Or this could be someone who's also silent, or they are verbally abusive or lying or liar, okay? So the Knight of Cups reversed is jealousy, but also can be feeling rejected or just moody. Or they could be a schmoozer and literally fake love to everybody. The Knight of Cups reversed with this jealousy energy of the Queen of Pentacles, who's upright, who's very practical, motherly type of energy, who's well-grounded, that it's unfair that she now has a happy family or is seen as being emotionally fulfilled at 115, which is the Magician and the Devil, or the shadow side of the magic. All right, so let's go into the cards, the oracle cards. And I want to remind you today is the Two of Wands and the Devil, the shadow side of the twins. Okay, and it's Sunday, exposing all. So let's see what the spirit animals have to say. It was 11303, which is the 1 of the Magician, the 13 of the Death, and then the 3 of the Empress or Abundance, Gaia. So again, Gaia it's a reminder that Gaia herself is going through rebirth along with us. So there's going to be a lot of rumblings, We've had trauma around the world our whole lives. We are familiar with that. It just might get more often or more powerful at certain times. And just be present in your 4 walls. To know that all is well. That life goes on. And we're sending lots of love to raise the vibration. All right, let's see what the animal spirits say. Take a deep breath. Okay, we have the hummingbird, which is beautiful high vibe energy. Look at that. Wow, 2 in a row. One's littler than the other. All right, this is my bee basically, and my fire and my dragonfly that I showed you earlier. Only this is a hummingbird and a firefly. 2 in very high vibration, displacing the dark energies. So others are going to be feeling that dark energy that they're pushing outward. you know? It's not going to stay, but you're going to feel it. There's going to be waves of dark energy coming through you because it's being dispelled. Right? It's like, you know, the two good guys when the bad guys come into the room and they're back to back, right? Because they got to protect each other from the bad guys getting them. That's what I'm getting, like, the energy of. And then we have the cheetah, which can be the bad guy, right? Because it's like they're hypnotized, right? They're hypnotized by the story. And then here's the lower chakra energies, and it's the cheetah ready to pounce, which I was getting that in the clouds I told you about, the picture there. Where's the energy of someone ready to pounce? All right. And then we have these guys here, which are very similar. The rabbit's very similar to the cheetah, but they're too scared to pounce. That's really funny. And the beaver's there, maybe helping out this bunny over here, right? Because they're in 3D energy because they're just scared. They don't want to pounce because this one's aggressive. This one's not, right? This one's just scared. So there's two 3D energies, fear and aggression, that are really prominent here. And here's the busy beaver in the middle who's very neutral, right? They're very much in their solar plexus energy of just, and the blue-green of the evergreens, of just busy doing his work. He's happy there. He's in the middle. He's showing you where to be. You can either be in fear or aggressive anger, or you can be here, happy little beaver. Those are your choices. Okay, going through all of this. It's always your choice. The bottom of the deck is the owl, the wise owl. And then we have the phoenix rising there. Again, transformation, rebirth. And the birds rising. Keep bringing you flying things, whether it's birds or bugs. It's a lot of air energy here. And there's the owl with the help of the big wings here. Okay. So the owl's saying you'd never believe that this phoenix rising was actually me. Who? Me? Right? So the owl who's a hoot. So I was trying to bring up little funnies to lighten the load. Oh, look, I'm getting the who. Love rain on me. Oh, it's so cute. So again, this is the who and love rain on me. And I'm also getting, shoot, what's the movie called? You know, Tommy, the movie Tommy. You know, of the deaf, dumb, mute, can't see, can't hear, can't do anything, but feel. They can feel. That's why it's making me want to cry. It's very high vibrational. But yes, that energy of someone doesn't need all of those senses as long as they can feel, right? You don't need to see and speak and hear. You just need to feel to be wise. And look at the three. That's so powerful. The cosmic egg is the crown. This is the collective awakening, the rebirth, the rising from the ashes. And ash in Pleiadian means light. Rise in the light. Right? With the wise old owl. The hoot, the who. The who, what, where? Who's on first? What's on second? Huh? All right, so that's going on there. Very interesting. And the turtle saying, don't fence me in. I'm taking my time. So look, these are the 5 under. So again, this is very much like this energy here where you're seeing the collective waking up because we have sealed, right, the gates around the world. And here is the turtle taking their time. I'm going to go at my own pace. The whole collective needs to go at their own pace to rise from the ashes and be wise. And again, yesterday, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. This is very profound energy here in the underlying energies. And then the hummingbird and the firefly coming out to clarify, and that all you need is love. All you need is love. That's what they're telling me now. We have the cheetah who's aggressive. We have the rabbit in fear, or you can just be the busy beaver and do what you love to do and stay centered, right? In the middle, be moderate while the clearing's going on, right? Because it's going to be intense. You're going to feel a lot of dark energies being cleared. All right, let's see what comes up from the journey of love. And again, the hot spot. So, yeah, so Indonesia was coming up as the hot spot. A lot has been coming up about Crete, though, too, so I wonder. And then my nephew and niece are supposed to be going to Greece eventually, not now. But I was telling them one of the Greek islands is called Kos, which is my dad's nickname. So we were talking about that. So, yeah, Greece is definitely coming up as well. All right, from the Journey of Love, what is the message for the Twin Flames, our takeaway today? All right, 2 cards are coming up together. The Rings of Time, which again is the old man in a wheelchair, or the old woman in a wheelchair with a bird head, which is very Thoth, which is the old way, the intellectual way, as opposed to the feeling way. But again, there's wisdom in the Rings of Time of those who've lived a full life, with the 44 of the 4 of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially learning to receive it. And again, and I've told you this before, sometimes if you've lived a life of intellectualism, you end up in a wheelchair in order to allow people that you never would have given the time of day to, because you didn't respect them, to now love you and take care of you, because you still need to learn that lesson about receiving love. And then we have the cosmic butterfly of the mother's love. This is the transformative love, the mother's milk, the breast, and the 36 of the Atlas energy, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. So here's the weight of the world of the mother, and the transformative butterfly, like the phoenix from the ashes, that the mother understands this energy because she's gone through having a child, and she understands the nature of birth and death. And then here is the grandparent learning birth and death through the death of their body, right? Not being able to do the things they used to be able to do. Okay, so Rings of Time and cosmic butterfly. And I saw when I came back from my jog yesterday, I see white moths all the time, but I rarely see butterflies in my area. But I saw an orange butterfly yesterday. I saw it once before last week too. So it's kind of cool that I'm seeing a butterfly around here. This is also the multi-generational energies coming up again with this stuff, right? So going from the mother and child to the grandmother, 3 generations here. And the wisdom that you can learn from each other, right? The grandmother learns from the grandchild and vice versa. And the mother in the middle doing all the work and going through her lessons as well. And here's the cosmic butterfly. Here's the transformation of your galactic self and rising above the rings of time, right? Because that's very Saturnian, and the old, which was the Pisces era, we're now in the Aquarius era, right? It's very different. So the old is still going out, and we're still going through the transformational process from Pisces into Aquarius. That also coming up. This third card also wants to be seen of God Speaks. 33 is the Christ vibration. It's also the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself without getting defensive, not needing to defend yourself. This is your cord between you and God, you and Source, you and Creator, you and Amana, however you want to call Mother, Father, Christ, Sophia, Amana, Creator, whatever you want. You can call it love. It's just love energy that we're all a part of. We are the collective. The God is the collective of everything that is. Okay, so God speaks. Saying you don't need to speak. Mr. Ed is God to me. That's my symbol for God. So Mr. Ed spoke today that you don't need to speak. I mean, enjoy it while you are human, but there's a lot of wisdom in silence as well. And remember the sounds you love most while you still speak, right? Because in the upper dimensions, they don't use words, they use telepathy. So what will you miss regarding sound? You're going to miss music. You're going to miss the sound of a baby's voice, right? You're going to miss the sound of your lover's voice, being loving, not yelling at you, right? Not defending their story. You're going to remember the positive, beautiful energies. So source that energy of speaking song and love, the sounds that make you feel high, that make you high on life. Appreciate the sounds while you have them, because in the upper dimensions, you don't use voice, okay? So, and this one's popping up too. And then these are very two-dimensional. But again, this is the Mary Magdalene yellow energy with the weight of the world upon her shoulders. She's shouldering the Divine Masculine right now. There's the M. And she looks like she's carrying the triangle, right? of the divine masculine, knowing without knowing, right? Without getting anything in return from the masculine, shouldering his weight while he can't do it for himself. The 41 of the Ace of Cups of loving self, spiritual love, and new love. And there's the 2D energy of becoming. It's about trust and faith, about knowing it's there before you see it or hear it or is in your physical space. The 34 of the energetic exchange and becoming. This is just 2D energy. It's flat. And then we have the Lovers after that of the Angel of Jupiter awakening. All of a sudden, this flat energy starts to move. You see the two? They're swimming, sailing side by side, and eventually these two lanes just merge together naturally. You don't have to do a thing. They just merge together naturally. Just like you're on a 2-lane road, all of a sudden it becomes 1 lane and you're together. You didn't have to do a thing. You just went along with the road. You just go along with it. It's all good. The bottom of the deck is the coming together of the 66, the Queen of Pentacles. And again, the energy of the heart and the blood rushing into the heart. This is like the toroidal field. Here's the vortex right here. And like the apple, right? There's the toroidal field. There's the apple with the stem here. And that's the, the hourglass right here. And the vortex. This is where you can jump timelines here, right? The vortex. And there's the 22 of the journey, the Fool, loving all that is. And the 22nd coming in. Hold space, trust, be in love with life and yourself, trust and have faith. That's on the 22nd. It's really important to love all that is. Be in that space, in the vortex and within the cyclone. Be calm within all of it in coming together. Come together right now over me. Okay, this is also like hit the presses. I always get that. I don't know if someone wants to lift weights or it's literally, printing out news. But hit the presses. I always get the Muppets hitting the presses with that. Pumping them out, churning them out. This is also remaining calm when your heart's really excited, right? You get nervous. And remain calm and loving all that is. Just feel back into yourself. Feel into your heart space to calm your heart. Remember that your heart, your inner child is there to send love so that your child will calm down and not feel so excitable or nervous. Okay? So we're going to read the Rings of Time because that was coming up as important. And the Hummingbird. There's very high vibrational energies going there. So again, we're all in the air energies here. And so is the King of Swords reversed. Where's the Hummingbird? Is that? Yep. Hold on. Where are you, Hummingbird? You're hiding. Yeah, here's the Hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, which the sap from the tree has been coming up a lot the past couple of days. They know the secret of where to get the nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring, which is what we were talking about. When in balance, they're smart, curious, and they love to learn, but when they're out of balance, they're pushy, insistent, and sharp. To bring back into balance, take a class. Okay, that's for the hummingbird. Okay, and then for the 44 of Rings of Time, says, divine timing is granted to us as a gift. Sometimes if we want to be further ahead than we are now, that gift can seem like a restriction rather than a generous holding. Much like traffic that moves systematically so that not only one car but many can reach their destination according to a greater harmony and alignment, we are like individual cars that must sometimes accept red lights and at other times can flow swiftly through many green lights. It is just this way, this systematic flow of divine energy, through human manifestation. Your spiritual maturation is happening perfectly, and there's no need to bother yourself about timing. When doors open, walk through. When there appear to be no such openings, rest and reflect. The rings of time serve you, beloved. This oracle brings you a message that the divine is completely responsible for the timing of every event, opportunity, and happening of grace in your life. All you need to do is live your life. Everything else is taken care of for you now. This applies to all of your plans and the unfolding of all of your relationships. Let it all breathe and let the divine happen as it will. There is a beautiful silence now as I hold your hands and listen to your eyes across the span of moments called time. There are no words that say as much, nor walls that could confine the wings of our feelings or the rhythm of our eyes. Remember to drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, rise and be loved. Bye.